Have you ever felt stuck with someone, thinking you can't live without them? Has the pain of a breakup consumed you? Well, it's time to take the first step to get out of emotional dependency. That's right, the first step. It's not about love or abandonment. It's about understanding the difference between pain and dependency. If you're tired of feeling like you can't live without someone, this video's for you. Ready to shift your perspective and break free from emotional prison. Let's take the first step to get out of emotional dependency together. Chapter 1. Emotional Dependency in Childhood. Emotional dependency starts way earlier than you might think, long before you ever get involved in romantic relationships. It all begins in childhood, with your first love relationships, usually with your parents or caregivers. These relationships aren't just loving, they're also about dependency. In the beginning of life, we totally depend on the people who care for us. This dependency is crucial for our survival. Now think about this. How do you feel when you realize that, as a child, your life depended completely on someone else? Remember, during this phase, we don't have an identity of our own yet. We don't know who we are, and we rely on the people taking care of us to feel safe. When we look at our caregivers, it's not just love, it's a survival mechanism. As we grow older, we start seeking those emotional connections with other people, like our romantic partners. But often, we bring this dependency from childhood into our adult relationships. And then people wonder, how can I love someone and not need them to live? Have you ever caught yourself thinking that you love someone and can't imagine life without them? Here's the thing. The emotional dependency you feel now might be influenced by patterns you learned as a child. Recognizing that is the first step to freeing yourself. What do you think? Could you start noticing those childhood influences in your current relationships? Chapter 2. The Misreading of Love. For many people, love is confused with dependency. A lot of folks think that real love means you need the other person to be happy, to live. But the truth is, love isn't about needing someone else to survive. Love is about sharing your life, your joys and struggles, but without being emotionally dependent on the other person. Think about this. Have you ever felt like you couldn't live without someone? That the pain of losing them would be unbearable? That's normal, but that feeling doesn't mean you're dependent on the person. The pain of loss is real, and we can't just ignore it. But understanding that you don't need the other person to survive is what's going to free you from that emotional trap. If you feel like losing someone would mean the end of your life, it's time to reflect. Is this pain really emotional dependency? Or is it just the pain of losing something important? Have you ever thought about how you could separate pain from dependency? The first step to breaking out of this confusion is shifting the way you view love. Love isn't a prison sentence, and when you get that, you'll start living with more balance and less suffering. Have you begun to think about this difference in your own love life? Chapter 3. Distinguishing Dependency from Real Love. Now that we're starting to understand that love isn't dependency, let's talk about the real difference between the two. When you love someone, you share your life with them, but that doesn't mean you depend on them to be happy or complete. In mature love, you're able to live your life fully, with that person by your side, but without emotionally relying on them. Here's an important point. If the love you feel for someone was truly dependency, you wouldn't be able to live without them. The loss would destroy you. But the truth is, you have the capacity to move on, even with the pain of loss. Sure, you'll grieve, but that doesn't define your life. You have the strength to continue, even if the pain is huge. So, think about it. Is the pain you feel when you lose someone really a sign of emotional dependency, or is it just the loss of something you deeply cared about? Have you stopped to reflect on how you feel? How do you handle moments of loss in your life? This is the key to figuring out whether you're living emotionally independently or dependent. The pain of a breakup is natural, but understanding that you can move forward even with that pain will help you live more maturely and in balance. Have you been able to make this distinction in your own relationships? Chapter 4. The Maturity Step: Dealing with Pain in a Healthy Way. Now that you understand the difference between dependency and real love, it's time to take an important step: dealing with pain in a healthy way. When you go through a breakup or any kind of loss, you're going to feel pain. That's normal, and it's important to accept that pain. But the secret is not letting it consume you or make you feel like you can't live without the other person. Remember, emotional dependency is something from the past, something you experienced as a child. Today, you're an adult who is emotionally stronger and more autonomous. That means you can handle the pain in a more balanced way. The pain will exist, but desperation doesn't have to be part of the equation. Ask yourself, how can I handle this pain in a mature way? And if the pain feels unbearable, think, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use it to grow? The important thing is not letting it paralyze you. Have you thought about how you could handle moments of pain in a healthier way? What strategies could you apply to move forward without losing emotional balance? When you face a loss, remember that you can keep living and moving forward. Emotional maturity comes from realizing that the pain will pass and that you'll come out stronger on the other side. How will you use this pain to evolve? So, did you get the hang of how to take the first step to get out of emotional dependency? Remember, pain is natural, but you're capable of handling it in a mature and balanced way. If this video made sense to you and helped open your eyes to new perspectives, don't forget to hit that like button below. I'd love to know how you handle the pain of a breakup, so drop a comment and share your story. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do that now so you don't miss out on more tips and videos like this. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. Catch you next time.